get over it. Alright? Just relax. Hey, I thought you kind of looked like that dude from that show with Steve Urkel. Steve Urkel show. Right? So anyway. So I used to get made fun of a lot in high school. I know it's hard to believe, but I wasn't always as tall. But this one guy that used to make fun of me, right? I mean, this guy pissed on my backpack. That's a true story. You can Google it. He beat me up every day before school. But 3 years after I graduated, that guy died in a terrible drunk driving accident. Right? So moral of the story, karma?
It's a bitch.
No, it's don't fuck with Stu. Right? Or have a couple of beers and I will run your ass over. Right? Alright, I used to drive a jet black Camaro back in the day. I could barely see over the dash. It looked like Knight Rider had just hit your ass, okay? So yes, I am short, okay? So I'm pretty short, alright? I'm so short, I had to quit drinking because every time I bought a 40, I looked that much smaller, alright? I buy 2 40s as I'm coming out of the liquor store holding the 10 Commandments and shit, okay? And if being short wasn't bad enough, in high school, my nickname was Stu the Jew. Because apparently I went to an all-racist high school. But still to this day, I can't call anybody up from high school and be like, hey man, it's Stu, because they'll be like, Stu who? Stu the fucking Jew, dude. So I'm Jewish, when you're Jewish, you gotta do all these crazy things, right? You gotta do, like, you gotta go to Israel. And I don't know if anybody here's ever been to Israel before, but Israel has got some really fucked up drivers, the worst drivers in the world. Israel has the worst drivers in the world. I'm trying to cross the street in Israel. This white minivan cuts me off, runs 3 red lights, then goes right into an embassy and blows up. I was like, what the fuck, bitch? You didn't signal or anything, man. My little hat almost flew off and shit. I was like, damn. It's like he was trying to kill somebody. You know what I mean? Like, so I moved to San Francisco before I was up here. I see a lot of these comedians, they perform all over LA. I don't know if you realize I was the only one to open for Mark Pitta. Not that anybody knows who the fuck Mark Pitta is, right? But like, I moved to San Francisco because I thought I'd fit in San Francisco, because people in San Francisco are extreme, right? Like, people in San Francisco, they're not liberal, they're super liberal, right? And people in San Francisco, they're not gay, they're fucking naked, okay? So to give you an idea of how extreme the homosexual population is in San Francisco, I work out at Gold's Gym, right? Which is right there on Castro and Market. I don't know, I got my membership in Vegas, right? But after I'm done working out, I go into the shower room, and I see a sign on the shower room wall that says, sex in our showers may result in sexually transmitted diseases. Or worse, loss of your gym membership. That is how I know people in San Francisco are extreme, right? So I went down to Church and Market, still in the Castro, but I went down to the Safeway to use their restroom. Men's restroom's all fucked up, so I went in the women's restroom. I do this sometimes. I went in the women's restroom, whatever. I came out, and this Safeway employee, she looks at me and she goes, oh my god. I'm sorry, that's the craziest fucking thing you've seen in the heart of the Castro? Alright? Because if it is, you better quit before the parade, alright? Because I once saw a naked guy that was walking a dog that was wearing a fucking sweater. Alright? Now, while I was in San Francisco, I did some volunteer work. You guys ever do any volunteer work? Yeah. Yeah, I've done that shit. That shit cost me a year in Iraq. Now, to give you an idea of how dramatically lower the Army standard is, I got in, right? I know a guy who got a 22 out of 99 on the Army placement test. And instead of being like, dude, you should be telling jokes at for a bunch of people at Flappers at like 11 o'clock, they were like, fuck it, nobody's perfect. And they made this guy my sergeant. So to give you an idea of how intellectual this guy was, we're in the middle of fucking nowhere, right? And we're watching this movie, Surf's Up, animated movie about penguins. And my sergeant walks by and he goes, hey, soldier, are those the same penguins from Happy Feet? Like, these are actors you can fucking hire or some shit. Like, what do you even say to that dude? Yeah, they're gonna get Santa Claus to play the lead role, but he doesn't fucking exist, alright? And on top of all this, I had to go back to Texas. I don't know if anybody here's ever been to Texas before. People are super pumped about being from fucking Texas, man.
El Paso, baby!
That's right, fucking Texas, man. Fucking don't mess with Texas, right? And it's like, here's how bad it was. I went down to Austin, not El Paso, but Austin, and there was a shirt in a store window that said, fuck y'all, I'm from Texas. And it was a baby shirt, right? I'm this Jewish Hispanic, all that really means I'm just better able to budget my drinking problem. Living in good old Texas. Good old Texas, boy, I should've got me a shirt that said, fuck me, I'm in Texas, right?